I think that's the most fun part of this whole thing is I used, just coming up with just games and putting people in kind of awkward situations and seeing what happens. This episode is all about greed, right? It's like, okay, well, what are the different challenges or situations that we can put these contestants in that kind of focus on that?
Hello, happy Friday. My name is Madeline Cunningham. I am a development producer in the unscripted industry, bringing you candid conversations with the minds behind your favorite form of entertainment. Today, we have someone on the podcast who's worked on some of your favorite shows: Million Dollar Secret, Farmer Wants a Wife, Amazing Race, Finding Magic Mike. The list goes on. And his bread and butter is all about designing challenges. He is a challenge producer. So hyper logistics, themes, all the things. Really, really cool to talk to him. I know that you guys will enjoy. This is just such a niche job, and it's really, really cool to hear how Chris approaches it, whether it's a huge competition show with cash prize or a dating show. Just a really insightful conversations. Can't wait for you guys to listen. Here is my chat with producer Chris Decima. Chris Decima, welcome to the Unscripted Files. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How's it going?
Everything's going good. We were just talking a little bit about development. You are a supervising producer, but you were talking about how much you're loving development lately, and we can kind of get more into that creative process a little later. But I want to know, why entertainment? Like, who or what is responsible for getting you into this career?
Sure. I mean, it's kind of funny. I kind of fell into it. A lot of people, I think, just kind of fall into it. But I was working in a sandwich shop on Hollywood Boulevard. I met a buddy also at that sandwich shop, and he was working at the Mark Burnett offices at the time, and Mark Burnett was moving offices. So he invited me, hey, do you want to just come move some boxes and move from one office to the next? And I was like, sure, yeah, why not? So that was my first PA gig, was moving offices for Mark Burnett.
Such an industry story.
I know.
And
It's
so what,
so
you're moving
ridiculous.
boxes and you're just like, wait, what's going on around here? Like, I'm interested in this. Like, what was next?
Yeah, it was interesting because you see all the posters, right? Like the Survivor posters, the Shark Tank posters, and it's like, this kind of looks cool. I mean, there's people still in the edit bays and they're doing their thing, and I was very much interested in continuing what this potential moving boxes could lead to. So then I end up meeting another buddy, and it just kind of was it's the connections and kept moving on from there.
That's so wild. Obviously, you saw those posters, right? You saw Survivor and you see all these things. Was there an unscripted show that really made an impression on you?
I do remember my parents and we would always used to watch Survivor from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we would used to watch The Amazing Race from the beginning. But it's funny because as much as I do work and love unscripted reality TV, I don't watch too much of it. And I think that's because I work in it so much where I don't want ideas to be coming from what I've seen. I want the new, fresh ideas. So I think that's kind of the reasoning behind it. Just to keep it new and fresh.
It's also a bit difficult to enjoy fully.
Yeah.
Just because you sort of how the sausage is made, right? So do you watch a lot of scripted then? Are you still consuming a lot of media, or are you just sort of blocking it out and keeping everything pure?
No, I definitely still watch a lot of scripted shows. And it's funny because I do watch a lot of scripted kind of competition shows.
What would be what? Like Squid Games? Like scripted competition show?
There's one called Alice in Borderland. Not sure who makes it, but it's definitely a competition show where these characters kind of all come together. They get this playing card, and each playing card is a certain new game. It's a new level in the game. It's a little dark. They all compete in this big challenge game, and whoever makes it out alive basically continues on. But it's very interesting.
Oh my God. I grew up watching Harry Potter and Hunger Games,
Okay,
where
yeah.
literally you're whoa, kids are dying.
Right.
I feel like that's pretty par for the course for at least my generation.
Mm-hmm.
And competition really is your bag. I was looking at all your credits, and I feel like that's really where you thrive. But you started out on the X Factor. It seems pretty early on in your career, at least as far back as my IMDb will go. Put a lot of sweat equity in there. Talk to me about your experience with that.
Yeah, that did come through the same buddy that got me the Mark Burnett moving boxes gig.
Mm-hmm.
where his
Thank you to this
friend,
buddy.
yeah, I know. His friend, so his friend they went to University of Texas together. And X Factor was of season 1, and they were currently traveling to the audition cities. And they said, hey, we need someone kind of just in the office just to kind of be there for any kind of like shipping needs or accounting work and paperwork, that kind of thing, while they're bopping around the different cities. I said, sure, why not? I'll do that. So I jumped in, and that was my first kind of, I guess, actual big production assistant job. And then that truly became a family, like the X Factor family. I was able to do all 3 seasons. So season 2, I ended up being kind of more of a contestant coordinator. And then season 3, I jumped up to kind of being an associate producer, which was a very fun experience for me of just kind of, I love to talk and just talk to random people. We would literally call these, contestants and kind of learn about their life story and kind of their why they're on the show and the whole 9 yards, the whole background of it all. And yeah, when we just had like an X Factor kind of crew reunion, just kind of out of the blue a couple years back, and it's just so fun to see everyone again, see what everyone's up to, because they're all over the place. But it's a blast.
So X Factor, the US version went on for 3 seasons because it was a UK format, right? I'm trying to think, was that like in the middle of American Idol, sort of like same time period, or because it didn't predate Idol?
No. It was about the same time frame. Also, like with The Voice and
right, the heyday
AGT
of
and like
talent. Yeah, exactly. So when you go from like just managing, watching over the shipping, all the way to being a part of identifying, contestant stories, like, did you put yourself up for those opportunities? Were you always the person that's like, I can do that, and like say yes and figure it out? Or were you getting approached and sort of saying like, yeah, sure?
I think it was more or less like the opportunity was kind of there, and I was like, sure, I'll jump in and do it. Yeah, exactly like you said. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, figure it out. Like it's kind of like I think that's what's so great about this business and like these people in this industry is that everyone has to start from somewhere, and we all know what it was like to start from the bottom. The bottom's a bad word to describe that, but like you have to start from somewhere, right? And
Yes.
having that
Humble beginnings.
support, right? And having that support and learning throughout the process is what really kind of gave me that confidence to say, sure, I'll jump in. I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah, I feel like there's so much of like this industry and the stories that I hear are just like that say yes and figure it out mentality. And because everyone also started typically from a PA position or, like they are so willing to bring people up and allow people to have that growth, which I really, really love, especially on a set, where you can just be like, hey, can I watch you? Can I learn? And that is, I feel like, a really kind of beautiful like part of our industry. As you're going through the X Factor that got like Amazing Race in there and all these other shows, is there like a memorable moment on set that you could point to that really shifted your perspective professionally?
Yeah, I think for me it wasn't like maybe a specific moment, but I think a combination of moments of it's not just hey, we're gonna go shoot this thing and it's be done with it. It's just everything that really does go behind it, of the logistics, the planning, the timing, the all the fun paperwork, the insurance. I was like, dang, there's a lot to do just for like all we want to do is shoot in this cafe, and this is we have to do all this other stuff. So I think it was just kind of a combination of moments to really put things into perspective, and I mean, it makes you love it even
how much
more.
it takes.
Yeah,
So many, and again, that's part of like there's so many unsung heroes when it comes to entertainment of people who like do all the small things to like make it happen. Here, I'll pause.
it's a
Let's see. Is it a helicopter?
yeah.
Why did I hear that the budget for like the helicopter portion of I don't know, was like billions of dollars? Like I heard this
God.
crazy number. I need to actually Google it, but it was like the helicopter budget alone is billion.
Oh my God, I can see that. Okay, is it gonna circle now? Is that what's happening?
I think they're coming for you.
Oh, yeah, I got a citizen alert. Man throwing rocks 900 feet away.
Do you think this and the helicopter are connected? Are they? Is he throwing it off a bridge?
It's
What's
hard
happening?
to say.
Who knows? Anything is possible.
Yeah.
And so you go up through the ranks, and it seems like I said, like you really found your niche when it comes to logistics. and like really, really doing a lot of planning. So like, did you start with that on Amazing Race where you were really starting to get involved in sort of like hyper logistics when it comes to planning challenges, locations? Like, talk to me about how you really found where you are now.
Sure. I do think Amazing Race was an amazing opportunity for me. Again, that came through another friend there was an opening, and he's like, hey, come interview for it. And I did. And it was such an incredible experience and so much work. Um, but I think that was the beauty of it, is that I got to learn so many different aspects of basically putting a shoot together, especially when I was a country producer, and you're basically kind of taking over and running that leg of the race. And it was a very, very wild, fun experience. But it was very logistic heavy, and just kind of really making sure you kind of communicate through all departments constantly, working in different time zones too. So sometimes you might be up at like 4 a.m. here in Los Angeles in order to contact and talk to someone that's maybe over in Scotland or Bangkok. And it's like, yeah, it was a wild experience. I loved it. And I learned so much from it. And I'm just very grateful for the couple seasons I did on that show.
Yeah, and really research heavy too, though, because you're also trying, we've had like former Amazing Race producers here as well.
Mm.
And like, so, and you're researching deeply. You want to make sure that like the challenges are culturally relevant, respectful, like all of the above. And so it's super heavy research as well. Is that something that came pretty naturally to you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was maybe the first experience of which I kind of like to push forward in all my challenges now, is that, I learned something from an executive producer, and it'll always stick with me. And it's like, you're always doing it with a purpose. Like, you're not just going to go in there and, I don't know, collect a bunch of flowers. It's like, what's the purpose of it? And it's like building that kind of story behind the challenge for Amazing Race, for instance, or um, maybe theming a challenge into an episode to constantly help drive what is going to happen later on in the story. It'll always stick with me, is like, you're going in with a purpose, and to keep that in mind. But like you said, the Amazing Race challenges are very, very culture heavy. And again, it's something else that you kind of take with you, is that, even doing a lot of shows now up in like Canada or over like Midwest, it's making sure that you are not I guess, hurting any feelings, and making sure you're kind of true to the area that you're kind of filming in, which is very important.
Yeah. Designing challenges is really kind of like your bag. And talk to me just about your creative process when it comes to designing challenges, for a specific format, and how you sort of go about it.
Yeah, I think that's the most fun part of this whole thing is I used, just coming up with just games and putting people in kind of awkward situations and seeing what happens. But I think that like the most important part is, again, kind of going in with a purpose. And starts off with that research of what are you trying to accomplish here. Like sometimes it's maybe a theme of like, hey, like this episode is all about greed, right? It's like, okay, well, what are the different challenges or situations that we can put these contestants in that kind of focus on that? And of course, the list can go on and on and on. But it's definitely research, kind of buzzwords, stuff that's like kind of new is always important to me. And I think what's really important now is sticking with kind of a theme throughout the series. So it's not just putting in just like one big challenge just for the sake of having a big challenge, right? But it's like, let's really stick with the world we're in and why it's there, and how can it help push story. But with that said, I don't want to know too much about contestants, because I don't want to ever have that in my head of like, it's going to help one person or the other. So I've done a lot of like, I've done challenges on shows that don't have any kind of prize money, which then it is very much like, oh, this is going to be great for Sally, or this is going to be great for Tom, because we know their personality is going to have trouble doing this. So that's a little bit different when there's no prize money involved, which is a whole nother thing. It's a lot more fun, I think, because then you can really kind of pick and choose what you want to come out. And that's where you're really going in with a purpose. But then you have the challenges that do have prize money involved. And it's very much making sure everything is the exact same. The testing that goes involved in it, timings. A lot of times when we test challenges, we try to break the challenge. We try to cheat. as much as we
Like,
can,
okay.
just so we know like what, I mean, contestants are going to do anything for money. So it's like, what are they going to do? Let's try to mimic the same thing and fix it before it happens.
Yeah, how much are you guys, like, testing this out before are you, like, in a around a conference table, like, threading a needle? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it goes by steps for sure. It's kind of the approval of the main concept, and then you kind of dive a little bit deeper into more of the gameplay, kind of more the challenge like aspect of what it's really going to test or what we're really going to do, and then it's even comes down to materials, right? We're using a foam ball, or we're going to use a wooden ball. Is it going to be, this or that? And then it really is, we test it a few times. I mean, not a few times, but like a few groups of testers will come in and we see what they do. And then we kind of have to
Watch it
pivot
play
from
out.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit Love Island does mock week
Mm,
right before they film, where they bring in mock cast members, islanders, and just, like, see what happens to see how like, if they break something or by break, I mean, like, if they, find a way around, like, hide around a camera, whatever. So you guys do something similar for challenges.
mhm.
Do you tend to like physical challenges or more sort of like heady, intellectual, cerebral challenges more?
Good question. It depends. I think it depends on where it is in the series, if that makes any sense. Where it's like as you're kind of building a series or building a story through any of these shows, it's kind of what does the viewer want to see and know at the beginning versus kind of what does the viewer want to see and learn closer to the end. I think it's very important to keep in mind as you kind of develop these challenges and kind of placing them where they need to be throughout the series too is what are you, again, going in with a purpose, right? It's like what are you trying to tell the viewer, and you want to learn something new about these people every time. So
Yeah. So for example, at this point, we want everyone to build trust because they're just now getting to the mansion and like we want to have like trust building challenge. But then later in the story, it's like, oh no, we want to start to show some cracks. We want to start to like see who's going to betray other people and like
mm,
really get their if it's their greed on if we're like towards the end of the series. So yeah, so everything sort of having a purpose and like again, building or breaking
mhm,
or somewhere else, where yeah, it's so interesting because I feel like competition like challenges have really become so innate in like almost every format, even dating formats. It's like
mhm,
we have these challenges to again like showcase because they typically bring out a different side of people. Even when you try for them not to under like high stress, a time limit, you're bringing out something. So is that something you want to show a potential romantic partner? Or something you want to show a potential strategic partner. Like,
mhm.
so it's very interesting for you to have to sort of think through that as the story goes. But one show you did, and you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong. Does Farmer Wants a Wife have challenges?
They do not. So they have
Okay.
they have like kind of, they have dates, and then they also kind of have like activities like farm life.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
talk to me about your work on Farmer Wants a Wife. This is a dating show, very like bachelor-esque, kind of like again with farmers who want a wife. And so talk to me about your work on that show because it's like kind of derivative from the rest of your credits. And I'd love to just chat about like your experience on it and what your specific sort of role was.
Of course. I mean, that I love doing that show. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. It came from the Australia version of format, and it's huge over there. It's extremely successful with just kind of marriages and families starting. So it popped on over. And I never thought I'd be on a farm, but I have
Where did
been.
they film?
The season 2, I was in a town called Center, Colorado, on a potato farm with Brandon, who I adore. He's so amazing. But yeah, it's so funny because like those types of shows were like, now I feel like I'm a potato expert. I mean, somewhat, but
Right.
like you learn all
Because
these new
you have to
skills.
enter these worlds. Like
Yeah.
part of this job is like you make this world your universe for a period of time. For
Hmm.
like your 16, 20, 24 weeks, whatever it is. And you suddenly you become an expert in like whatever it is, potatoes or if you're a country producer in Scotland, like, and so I feel like as a result of this career, you just have so many random interests. Like, if someone said, hey, stand up for 30 minutes and talk about this one thing, you have a million things to choose from because you're like this expert in all these little
Right.
like micro
Yeah.
subjects. Okay, so potatoes, you're in Colorado.
Yeah, it's like with these guys too, so they are the true farmers and or ranchers or whatever have you. And they don't know what they kind of signed up for, right? So it's so much fun to kind of just like learn their journey. I became best buddies, best friends with the 2 seasons that I've did so far. I still talk to them and kind of text them and say hey and see how they're doing. That kind of becomes it's more a collaborative situation when you're on the farm because me, I don't know what kind of farm work happens certain times of the year. Like you can only harvest during a certain couple months. What does that harvest look like? What goes into storing them and moving them and shipping them. And so it's very collaborative with the farmer or rancher just to kind of know what is possible, what can you guys do together. But also they're looking for love. And it's like, I am all about finding them love. It's like, I'm ready for it. So it's getting these girls in the situation to kind of not prove, but to show like, yeah, I'm also here looking for love. I want to be there and help you with this life. And it's great. So it's funny because there's 4 farms in the show and we're all like the supervising producers are kind of overseeing each farm. And then we all come together with the executives on like the mixers, like with the dancing and kind of big dinners. So that was very much making sure that everyone's communicating across all farms, knowing exactly kind of what's
like
going
close
on.
in proximity? No. Okay, so you're filming across the country at basically 4 different farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay. And then, but they do at some point come all together. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
So then we all come kind of together, hang out, kind of catch up, and all the girls love coming back together just to see kind of who's still around and kind of, hey, and it's like, what's going on? This, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I love that show. It's so much fun. Just because like we're literally trying to find some good love for these 4 farmers. And they're so sweet. They're all so sweet.
So, okay, you're in Colorado, you're with this one farmer. And so you're learning about his day-to-day life because it's not just like date this guy or marry this guy, it's marry the lifestyle. And so are you designing dates and creating experiences completely based on not only like life on the farm, but also like the surrounding city, what he would do day to day? But like you're not traveling abroad like The Bachelor going on dream dates. It's very real life, like already integrated into their day to day.
100%. Yes. It's like if you were to live here, these are the dates you kind of be going on. But to a certain extent, right? But we get to think of some wacky, fun ones. Like we had a dinner date in the potato cellar. Like we were surrounded by potatoes, but they make it look beautiful.
Candles,
lights. It looks great. Steak dinner.
Potato vodka. Yeah.
But it very much is, this is kind of what you would be experiencing and enjoying while you're here.
That's so much fun and creative.
Yeah. And sometimes we get to kind of go above and beyond, like, hey, would you ever do something like this? He's like, I guess. Maybe not, but sure, let's do it,
Yeah. Or did any of them actually find a wife? Are they like married to their person from the show?
I don't think they're quite married yet, but there's two from season 2 are still together, and
that's very successful success rate.
I honestly am not sure if I know about season. Sure,
we'll have to check back in.
Yeah,
I'll do a fact check after the episode.
Yeah,
and I'll
I'm
check
actually
in.
not sure.
No, but it is cool because seems like these gentlemen like really are looking for someone and are looking for a partner. And so to get to design a show and dates and an experience around like, yeah, we're not just doing stuff to do it. Like we genuinely are trying to design something authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an exciting brief to just live this life on the farm for, a couple of months and dive into their world. Is there anything that you like you're in LA, I know, but was there any part of you that's like, I see the appeal. Like I totally get this.
I mean, it's a great little like kind of slow down. And being surrounded by cement here all the time, being able to then go and be surrounded by mountains and fields. And last season I was with a great guy, Colton, and he had more of like a ranch, and that was so much fun, just be around horses and just the cow. It's a wild experience, and it does kind of give you that time to kind of breathe, and just kind of take it all in and be like, this is this is fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. There's another show that you did that I do want to talk about. Finding Magic Mike.
Yeah.
How fun was that? I imagine that was absolutely wild. So were you designing challenges for that as well? Like tell me about this.
That was all about all these guys that are kind of coming to live their best life. Like, they're going to come and get the, a whole different experience. Very just, here we go. We're going to show what we got. Average Joes are going to come and just dance and get that confidence back up and see what we can do. That was a wild experience because we did it all in Vegas. So we did it
Mhm.
where they had the show, at the Sahara Hotel. And those guys legit danced. I mean, they legit learned all the dances. They were all in. Some of the challenges or activities were quite strange. Just meaning
Like
that
what?
like the very first one was like we kind of created this kind of elderly ladies bachelorette kind of like bingo party, and we had the guys kind of come in and do a dance number for all the ladies just to like really push them out of their comfort zone. I was like, here we go.
Mhm.
Like the whole point was just kind of finding your inner self and kind of like the confidence and like you deserve to be here, and but yeah, that was a wild one. I almost forget about that
So
one, I
there
think.
wait. Okay, wait. Because the idea is the log line is like guys who have lost their magic find it through this journey of confidence through like performing and dancing. So they're dancing for, did you say bingo ladies?
Yeah, it was like a
Stop.
retirement lady's like birthday party.
And wait, so I just can imagine this with like, is there actually music going on or is there like a click track and it's
Oh no,
just
it was music.
absolute just grinding? Okay. Grinding by the bingo board.
Yeah,
Like, that's it. Was that your idea?
there was multiple. There were like three of
You're
us,
like,
four of us
you're
that were
like, I'm
just like,
not
let's just go
responsible
for
for
it.
this. What was your favorite activity challenge that you designed for that show? That you were like, this actually like it had a purpose. It like did what it needed to do.
I mean, I think as simple as it was, there's this one that we called kind of like everyday runway, and actually was thought of like at midnight the day before,
I
but
love that.
it was very simple, and we had a comedian be the host of this everyday runway, and it was just these guys to like put on their best outfits that they feel most comfortable in and strut their stuff and kind of explain a little bit of why they feel comfortable in it. What do they want to kind of get across when they're out in the street? It just kind of was like the whole overall process was feeling the confidence of the body you're already in and what you're wearing, and it's like the host had so much fun with it. Like she like, poking fun of what
Of
everyone was
course.
wearing. It could have been like overalls or like short jean shorts or whatever it might be. It wasn't like even just like a challenge, but it was like they would come out, strut their stuff to some music and kind of just learn a little bit more about themselves. And I think that's a little bit of like going in with a purpose of where are we going after this? You can have something very small and it still has a great impact. If not
Hmm.
maybe visually, but definitely kind of emotionally and story wise.
Right. Well, and you have to do a mix. Well, because you're not only considering like you're doing all these things, but Chris, like you have to work within a budget also. That's a whole other thing that we haven't even talked about is that, you're also having to work within a budget for art, for location, for execution, for whatever, and having to ensure that you have that impact and have that purpose, but also are like
Mm-hmm.
respecting the line item.
Right, right,
Which
right.
is that, over the years, like, have you noticed it getting tougher and tougher to like, I know you're working on some big budget shows, but still budgets are dwindling. Are you kind of having to work and be more and more sort of efficient and economical?
Yes. The short answer to that is yes. But I think I worked on this show called like Marriage Boot Camp for quite a
Mm,
while. And that show actually really helps me in this field of
okay.
kind of like doing things on the cheap, I guess you could say, where all of our challenges were very much kind of what can research and what can we do for a very small budget. As far as like when Craigslist was a thing, we would kind of go on and find this guy had this like whole storage unit of really old like suitcases, and we're like, okay, great, let's go buy those for $10. It was like, um, you get a little creative of where you find items and what you can turn items into. Yeah, it's definitely getting a lot tougher, even though like maybe some shows are, a bigger budget in general, but they're also maybe not allocating that money to every department. So yeah, it's tough, but it's also part of the challenge, and I think it's fun.
It's part of the creative process for sure. Yeah, you were on that for like 5 years. You were on like 135 episodes of that show.
I did that show a lot. It was fun.
Yeah.
We got to really kind of mess with those people a bit, which, like I was saying, when there's a show or competition and activities when there's no money involved, it's like we have a lot more freedom.
Well, right.
Like,
There's no stakes. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
it's like we shocked them with shock collars. We made like shocking mazes they'd like hold hands and go through. We had them shovel a big pile of like shit and put them in suitcase, and then they had to carry them around. It was all kinds of fun things, but they're all themed.
And you're like, this is the baggage you bring into marriage. Like that was
exactly. It's
that
like
was literally
very
the
literal. Yeah,
parallel.
yeah, very literal.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. No, but I mean, they really do, like, again, and that is why I think, like, coming from those experiences where you do have to be really economically minded and, like, be flexible, make a lot happen, to where you are now, it's like you do think really holistically and you're able to do a lot with a little, or, sort of retool set pieces or like whatever, and try to really like stretch things, which I think is super important. Again, as budgets dwindle and deliverables rise, like
Right.
it's that is sort of the name of the game. You were talking about how, you sort of, so when you get brought in, like tell me what you really feel like you bring to the process. So you're getting asked to come on to a show that is a reality competition, right? What is someone hiring you for? They're like, this is the Chris effect. Like, what are you bringing that is really additive to the series?
Just a bunch of laughs.
That's important.
No, I think it really is kind of the knowledge of different types of challenges, different types of scenarios. I've been lucky enough to work on relationship shows and challenge shows, so it's like I've done the story side of things and I've done kind of logistics and challenge and testing, so it's been able to bring that kind of combination of the two. Coming on early to these projects is extremely helpful too, is to help to kind of develop and see like what really is possible. Can you really produce these, or are we just tossing some idea out there because it sounds good? But what does it really take in order to make it happen? So I think it's like that combo of story, challenge, going in with a purpose, like that whole thing is, I think, extremely helpful.
So are you typically coming in pre-green light and like helping to shape these things?
On a few of them, I used to do a lot more previously, and then these last few shows, we tend to get smaller and smaller time for that. So it kind of, it's like with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah. And so when you're actually like, going through the process of like designing, creating challenges, like what is your preferred method? Are you like pen to paper? Are you, working in a spreadsheet? Are you like, tell me, are you in Canva? Like, tell me kind of what your creative process is when you're actually starting to brainstorm and, present ideas for a specific show.
It's funny. I start with kind of like buzzwords. And it's just kind of because one single word can kind of just end up giving you a random idea that you just kind of go off on. I do a little bit of a brain dump. So it's like I don't dive into anything specific at the, right at the get go. Just type it out, or this empty whiteboard I have behind me. I just real quick, 10 o'clock at night, you're like, oh, I have an idea. And you just write it down.
The best time for ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm very visual. I like to kind of write, kind of do a challenge write-up in a way of the reasoning behind it, what the challenge is, and potential kind of outcomes, like story outcomes, and then very much kind of a visual aspect of mostly kind of photos and that sort of thing. And I dabble in kind of Adobe here and there as well, so I'm able to manipulate some photos here and there, just kind
collage,
of help,
put some stuff together,
to help kind of like really push it over the edge there.
Are you using AI to visualize at all?
No, not really. It's like I actually use this website called Shop Deck. It's so
I have the tab right now.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Me and Shop Deck are like this.
Right.
Yes.
Which I just kind of experienced and found not too long ago. And I think it's amazing just to like help I mean, it already has like incredible visuals, and why not kind of help use those to, because it has the tone of it too, right? So it's like
Exactly.
it helps get your point across.
Yeah. Well, it's you can Google only so many like shocked face
Right.
at someone. Yeah, shot deck always comes through. Frame set is another really good one.
Okay.
It has ads as well. So
Mm,
like you can even pull from just like advertisements, commercial pieces. So it's kind of like fully it's like holistically you can get a lot of different things. But yeah, shot deck
awesome.
is
Yeah.
the best.
Right.
Okay, cool. What is there a favorite challenge you've ever designed? If you could
Sure.
have one on your resume, you just handed it over and were like, I did this, what would it be?
Hmm. We were in Istanbul for the Real Love Boat, and we did kind of a search basically in the Grand Bazaar, and it was wild. It was just kind of fun. It was just, the Grand Bazaar is huge.
It's like a massive market, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, they had to like go to had to find different shops and pick out different pieces, and
Okay.
yeah. So that one.
Okay. Oh my God. That sounds amazing. And that was for the Real Love Boat, which we didn't even talk about, but you did say that was like really, really
Mm,
fun.
yeah.
So, okay, let's start to wrap it up. So, you talked about, sort of how you got into the industry, working your way up, saying yes and figuring it out. But like now, I don't know if people can have a story sort of like yours of like, oh, I helped move boxes and here I am.
Right.
Like, I just feel like it's a bit different. With that in mind, though, what would be your advice to someone looking to break in, someone who looks at your career and is like, oh, I would love to do that. What do you feel like is just a little tidbit of advice you could offer?
I think it really is a little bit kind of what we talked about is just kind of jump in, say yes and figure it out, and just be very confident about it. I think it's also being very honest and, being able to tell someone, whether it be in an interview or not, that, you know what, I may not have direct experience in this, but I have this other experience that lines great with it. Like, listen, working in a restaurant or grocery store, you're constantly talking to people, and you have to understand their personalities. They're always going to be different. So there's even that you can bring to the table. And it's like I think it's knowing too that things are ever evolving. That even if you are it's like take the PA job, right? If you're in the PA job, take it and use that time to see what you want to maybe get into. Um, because there's probably a lot of departments that you had no idea even existed if you're kind of just starting out. So I think that's important too, is like take that experience and see what happens.
Yes. Well, and there's a lot of ideas of what certain jobs are like, or even a lot of misconceptions, good or bad. Because it's hard work.
Yeah.
Being on set is especially hard work, and so I think it is important to like get that firsthand look and also ask. Like I'm a very big fan of asking. Like,
Hmm.
hey, can I shadow you? Can I mentor you? Hey, can I chat with you? Can you bring me on the next job? Whatever, and I can assist just to check it out. Like I think that I'm always a big fan of that as
Hmm.
well. You are very much like involved in a lot of shows that are kind of, considered, I would say, like on the edge or on the cusp of always trying something new. I know you're in development as well. Tell me just to wrap it up, tell me kind of where you feel like unscripted TV is going. Cause I know we hear the buzzwords, we see the mandates, like, but talk to me about your kind of opinion on where we'll be in the next couple of years in terms of sort of what trends we're seeing, what types of shows we're seeing.
I think it's going to be more immersive. I think it's going to be creating these worlds that you want to be a part of and you want to go experience yourself. And I think I think there's going to be a time where you're going to be watching, you'll be able to watch a show or a challenge or people going through something and interact with that outcome. And I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be
Yeah.
so cool.
I agree with you 100%. I think Love Island, I'll give that as an example, as a perfect example of why play along works
Hmm.
and why it's so interesting because like you think back to like X Factor, Idol, like I remember calling in to vote, right? And then like that sort of collective monoculture viewing very much went away and now it's coming back. And inviting the audience to be a part of it I think is going to be major. And I think we see that success, like I said, play out with the live voting in Love Island. I could see audiences certainly getting to vote on like challenges or like kind of playing producer, which I think is really, really fun, is definitely sort of the next wave of what we're going to see. Are you watching anything right now that you are loving?
It's funny because I watch a lot of like Netflix. But I just watch it just because it's something to kind of take my brain off of
So you just
what's
watched The
going
Hunting
on.
Wives. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. I just click okay, watch, and then it's like okay, fine, but nothing in particular.
Okay, so you don't have like a favorite thing you're binging right now. And are you like excited for football season?
Well, I'm a huge like soccer fan, so with
Okay,
LAFC bringing on Sonny, I'm in it. I'm here for it.
love that. I don't know what that means, but I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, perfect.
Is Sonny a player?
Yeah, yeah. He just came from
Okay.
the Tottenham Hotspurs, which is over in North London,
Okay.
from a Premier League, which is like their big league over there.
Okay, great.
It's a big
Love that
signing.
for you.
Yeah, it's a big signing.
So excited for you.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so much fun.
Yeah,
I
thank you so
have
much.
enjoyed having you on. So refreshing to like talk to you and understand your creative process. And I love your sandwich shop moving boxes story. It's so awesome. And to see where you are now in some of these major shows for some of the best streamers, it's a really cool story. So thank you so much for taking a moment to chat with me.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. Later.
All right, see ya.
Huge thank you to Chris for coming on. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. What a fun job. Designing challenges is absolutely one of my favorite parts of development. So happy that Chris came on. Guys, my next guest next week is going to be answering all of your burning questions from the Netflix documentary that everyone has watched. You know which one I'm talking about. The one that's been #1. The one that's all over your FYPs with reactions. Yes, I will be answering all your burning questions about Unknown Number, the high school catfish, because I'm interviewing the director, Skye Borgman. Can't wait for next week. I am dying to dive in with her. So make sure you like, subscribe, rate, review. Also follow me on Instagram at Unscripted Files Pod. If you have a show, something you're curious about, whatever, DM me. I'll try to get them on. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week on the Unscripted Files.